The world is full of mysteries, some solved, some forgotten, and some that continue to haunt us. These are the cases that leave behind more questions than answers. Cases that puzzle even the most skilled investigators where evidence is found, but explanations are not. From unexplained disappearances to cryptic messages, bizarre deaths, and eerie clues, these are the stories that make us wonder what really happened. Today, we're counting down 10 of the most mysterious unsolved cases that continue to baffle the world. Be warned, some of these cases are so eerie they just might keep you up at night. Let's begin. December 1900. A supply ship arrives at the remote Flannan Isles lighthouse off the coast of Scotland, expecting to find 3 lighthouse keepers carrying out their duties. But something is wrong. The lighthouse is completely abandoned. Inside, things look almost normal. A meal is half-eaten on the table, a chair is kicked over to the side, and an oil lamp is still filled with oil. The lighthouse logbook reveals a disturbing final entry. The keepers wrote about a massive storm, waves crashing violently, and feeling deeply afraid. But here's the strangest part. Meteorological records show that no storms were reported in the area during that time. Theories range from a massive rogue wave sweeping them away to supernatural forces or even a staged disappearance. But after more than a century, the 3 men were never found, and their fate remains a chilling mystery. In the chilling winter of 1959, 9 experienced hikers ventured into the Ural Mountains of Russia. They never returned. Days later, their campsite was discovered, shrouded in mystery. The tent was ripped open from the inside, and their bodies lay scattered in the snow, barely clothed. Stranger still, some had severe internal injuries with no external marks. One woman's tongue was inexplicably missing. Another had traces of radioactive material on his clothing. Was it an avalanche, a covert Soviet experiment, a Yeti attack, the official explanation, a powerful natural force? The true cause remains an enigma. West Virginia, Christmas Eve, 1945. The Sodder family's home goes up in flames. The parents and 4 children escape, but 5 children are never seen again. Here's what makes this case truly bizarre. No remains were ever found, not even bones. The family received strange phone calls afterward. A witness claimed to have seen a man watching the fire before driving off. Years later, the Sodders received a mysterious photo of a man who resembled their missing son, along with a cryptic message. Some believe the children were kidnapped, and the fire was a cover-up. Others suspect a mob-related revenge plot. But decades later, the case remains one of the strangest disappearances in history. (1922), a quiet German farmhouse, a family of 6 brutally murdered with a pickaxe. Days before the murders, the family reported hearing footsteps in the attic. They found unfamiliar footprints leading from the forest, but none returning. Then one night they were all slaughtered. Even more horrifying, the killer stayed in the house for days afterward, eating their food and feeding their livestock. Theories include a vengeful neighbor, a secret lover with a dark past, something supernatural. Despite countless investigations, the murderer was never identified. Brazil, 1966. 2 men are found lying dead on a hillside, wearing lead masks over their eyes. A note nearby reads, "Be at the agreed place, ingest capsules, wait for the signal." The men had no external injuries, no cause of death was found. Some believe they were trying to communicate with extraterrestrials. Others think it was a failed scientific experiment. Whatever happened, the mystery has never been solved. One of the biggest aviation mysteries in history. In 2014, Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 vanished mid-flight with 239 people on board. It changed course, but why? The pilot sent no distress signal. Only a few pieces of wreckage have ever been found. Was it a deliberate act? Mechanical failure? Hijacking? Until the plane is found, this case remains open. 1948. A man is found dead on an Australian beach. No ID, no labels on his clothes. In his pocket, a tiny piece of paper that reads Tamám, Shud, Persian, for it is finished. Later, investigators found a coded message and a phone number. Was he a spy, a murder victim, a Cold War secret? Decades later, his identity remains unknown. One of America's most infamous serial killers, the Zodiac Killer, terrorized Northern California in the late 1960s and early 1970s. What made him so terrifying? It wasn't just the brutal murders, it was the way he played with the police, sending coded messages, cryptic letters, and eerie taunts to the media. His confirmed victims include 5 people, but he claimed 37, leaving us to wonder how many fell to his hands. The Zodiac's letters, signed with his now iconic symbol, contained ciphers that even expert codebreakers struggled to solve. Some of these were cracked, revealing chilling messages like, "I like killing people because it is so much fun," but others, still unsolved. One of the Zodiac's most infamous attacks happened on September 27, 1969, at Lake Berryessa. A young couple, Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard, were enjoying a day by the water when a masked man approached them, wearing a strange hooded outfit with the Zodiac symbol on his chest. He tied them up, stabbed them repeatedly, and then casually drew his symbol on their car before vanishing. Cecilia died from her injuries, but Brian miraculously survived to tell the tale. Then there's the mystifying phone calls. After one of his murders, Zodiac himself called the police and calmly reported the crime, even giving exact details. Numerous suspects have emerged over the decades, including Arthur Lee Allen, a convicted child molester who was obsessed with ciphers and owned a watch with the Zodiac symbol. Yet, despite circumstantial evidence, nothing ever definitively linked him to the crimes. And then there's the chilling fact that Zodiac stopped communicating. Did he die? Was he caught for another crime? Or did he simply blend back into society? In 2021, a group of code breakers finally cracked one of Zodiac's unsolved ciphers after 51 years. It revealed a message mocking the police, but still, no name, no confession. The Zodiac Killer remains one of history's greatest mysteries, hiding in the shadows, unknown to this day. An abandoned ship, no crew, no signs of struggle, and no explanation. On December 4, 1872, the British ship D.I. Greater spotted another vessel adrift in the Atlantic Ocean. It was the Mary Celeste. The ship was intact, its cargo undisturbed, but the entire crew had disappeared. What makes this case so haunting is that everything else seemed normal. The food was still on the table. Barrels of alcohol were untouched. The lifeboat was missing. But why would the crew abandon a perfectly seaworthy ship? Even stranger, there were no signs of struggle. No pirate attack, no distress signal. And the last entry in the captain's log? Nothing unusual. Theories range from mutiny, but no bloodshed was found, a giant wave. But why would only the crew be swept away? Fumes from the alcohol barrels, leading the crew to evacuate in fear of an explosion. Some even claim it was paranormal. Ghosts, Bermuda Triangle forces, or something even darker. The fate of the Mary Celeste's crew remains one of the most chilling maritime mysteries in history. He's perhaps the most famous unidentified serial killer in history. Jack the Ripper terrorized London in 1888, brutally murdering at least 5 women in the Whitechapel district. But what makes this case truly terrifying? It's not just the gruesomeness of the murders, it's the complete lack of identity. Jack the Ripper's victims were women working in the slums of London, most of them prostitutes. He didn't just kill them, he mutilated their bodies in ways that suggested medical knowledge. His first confirmed victim, Mary Ann Nichols, was found on August 31st, 1888. She had been slashed across the throat and brutally cut open. Then came Annie Chapman. Her organs were removed with surgical precision. Then Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and finally Mary Jane Kelly, the last and most gruesome of all. Her body was so horrifically mutilated that investigators were shaken to their core. Then came the letters taunting police signed Jack the Ripper. Some of them were hoaxes, but others contained details only the killer could know. One letter, titled the From Hell letter, arrived with a piece of a human kidney, supposedly taken from one of his victims. Over the years, hundreds of suspects have been considered, including a local doctor, based on the precise way the victims were cut, a member of the royal family, in a wild conspiracy theory suggesting a cover-up, and a mentally ill butcher who lived in the area. But despite modern DNA testing and endless theories, Jack the Ripper's true identity remains unknown. Jack the Ripper wasn't just a murderer, he was the first true serial killer in media history. His crimes sent London into hysteria, fueled by gruesome newspaper headlines. Even over 135 years later, books, movies and theories continue to circulate. Some even believe that new DNA analysis might finally solve the case. But until that day comes, Jack the Ripper remains London's greatest unsolved mystery. Which of these mysteries do you think will ever be solved? Are some of these cases even meant to be solved, or will they remain forever unanswered? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into the world's most chilling mysteries. Until next time, stay curious.